Hey guys, Abby here. How are you guys doing? I've missed you all so much. Thank you for being here. And I wanted to start off before we get into this crazy video. I wanted to take a moment to apologize to you all for ghosting you all the last few months. I have had some very serious health issues. A lot of you out there who've known me for a long time and been with me for a long time know that I've had many problems with sinuses over the last 5-6 years. And I was going in for another sinus procedure, but it was a lot more complicated this time because I have an autoimmune disease. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and the medications I take for that lower my immune system. So it makes it much easier for me to catch sicknesses. And in this case, with the issues I was having with my sinuses, kind of created the perfect breeding ground and made for the perfect storm, with my immunity being lowered and the constant sinus infections. And I came in contact with a bacteria that, to my understanding, the doctors and nurses all told me, is pretty much everywhere. People come in contact with it all the time. Just everyone who has a normal and functioning immune system can fight off this bacteria naturally without even knowing they had it or had come in contact with it. But lucky me, it was not quite that way. So the last several months I've spent with doctor visits, tests and what have you, trying to figure out what was going on, what was causing all these issues I was having. I was barely functioning. I pretty much went to work and slept for the most part. And even work was a challenge. I could barely concentrate. I could barely keep awake. I even had a fall at work where I just kind of got dizzy and lightheaded and fell, dislocated my thumb. Craziness. So anyway, we got to surgery, and then after surgery I almost bled out because I had some bleeding that was in a main artery or near a main artery in my sinuses, and I was freaking out. I had hospital staff swarming around me trying to get this to stop. They were like, if we can't get her to stop, we're gonna have to go take her back into surgery. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what is happening? So that was kind of scary. And then I got sent home on IV antibiotics to fight off this infection because this bacteria apparently is highly antibiotic resistant, which is why the normal oral antibiotics you get at the pharmacy weren't cutting it. So, yeah, between that and having to be off of my rheumatoid arthritis medications while all this treatment was going on has been quite painful and a struggle. I still don't have complete feeling in the tips of my fingers. They're kind of numb, but I'm starting back on those, so hopefully that will subside soon. Oh yeah. And let's just throw Mother Nature in there with her, that horrible M word that comes along with women who are my age. Yeah, she's terrible, and this heat is not my friend right now. You all know how much I love summer, how much I love the heat, sunshine, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no. Right now, not happening. I am roasting almost all of the time. So, and my body just can't regulate a temperature to save its soul. So, again, now that you got the whole gory details, I do want to apologize again for kind of ghosting you guys, but I had some serious health issues going on the last couple months, so I had to kind of take a step back and take care of myself. I appreciate you guys hanging out for 3 months or so, waiting on me to come back and perusing through the old stuff. But anyway, enough about me. Thank you all. I love you, my YouTube family. You guys are the best. But today, we are talking about an OnlyFans star who broke an existing record of sleeping with the most men in a 12-hour time frame, which was the previous record was a little over 900 men. That record was made by a OnlyFans star, Bonnie Blue. Or no, Bonnie Blue, I apologize. Bonnie Blue is the OnlyFans star. I'll get it together, guys, I promise. Bonnie Blue is the OnlyFans star who broke this world record. Like, I can't even begin to imagine. But here's what we've got. In the beginning of 2025, the OnlyFans star, 25-year-old Bonnie Blue, claimed that she had broken the world's record by sleeping with 1,057 men in 12 hours. She said in an interview that it started with gangbangs and then progressed to one-on-ones with men constantly rotating out of the room. And although her niche is typically sleeping with what she calls barely legal 18-year-olds, she said she loves sleeping with married men because, what she says, and I quote, because women are lazy. And father and sons are a big turn on for her as well. In another interview after this marathon, she said her girls and female parts and legs were a little sore and she had several small bruises on her legs. And she stated that she was ready for round 2 after the first round. What can you imagine? Oh my God, there are so many questions. That just sounds like a total nightmare to me. But anyway, how did she do this? Well, here's a few things she did to achieve such a goal. First, she announced over her social media and gave tickets out on her Telegram. If you don't know what Telegram is, side note, Telegram is a messaging app. So yeah, she was giving out tickets for this event, as she dubbed it. She invited her followers to bring friends, family, and neighbors. Then they had established a time limit, and that each guy had 30 to 40 seconds inside of her was the opportunity they were presented with. After that 30 to 40 seconds were up, they didn't necessarily have to leave the room. They could either get oral or a hand job or just watch. It took 16 staff members to help orchestrate this event that she held at a hotel. 3 of them were security guards, one person, what they called a fluffer, which was the person who kind of stood outside the room and got the men to stand at attention before they went in to be in her. And 12 of the team members were there to make sure everything ran smoothly. They fully vetted people. They checked IDs and passports, and NDAs were signed, which are non-disclosure agreements. And if they passed all of their screening, they were led to a makeshift nightclub that had music and lights and food and refreshments. And then from there, they were led to the floor of the hotel where Bonnie was, and they had the option to be with her alone or with a group of 5. Now, if they chose the group to be with the group of 5, they were given 2 minutes inside of her, as opposed to being alone for 30 to 40 seconds. So, depends on what your desires are, I guess. Let's see. I apologize. I just closed my thing out here. Okay. Again, they had the fluffer. She said that she stayed hydrated. It was important to her. She stayed hydrated with Pepsi Max, is what she said. So, hey, Pepsi, there you go. You got a commercial in that one. And she only took 2 3-minute breaks during the whole 12 hours. Of course, they had to wear condoms, and the guys were given the option to wear a ski mask or would have their faces blurred out if they were in videos, if they didn't feel comfortable having their faces shown. And the only disqualifier to be kicked out once they made it that far was during her challenge, I guess you'd say, was if any of the guys that were waiting in line started judging other guys and being verbally abusive, making comments about their size or their performance. She wasn't tolerating that, and unfortunately one guy got kicked out for it. So, you ask why the odd number, the 1,057 men instead of just 1,000, which was what she was originally advertising for. In an interview, she said that once she had reached 1,000 men, there were still 57 men in line waiting, and she didn't want to disappoint them. Okay, go her. I don't know that I would ever honestly make this a goal of mine, if I'm being honest, ever. But like I always say, we all have our thing, and on that note, I will just leave you with the words of Miss Bonnie Blue. A special thank you to all the barely legal, barely breathing, and husbands who made this possible. Now you know who you are. That's all I have for you guys today. Until next time, love, hugs, and smoky kisses. Bye.